Hey there, guys. Earlier today, I live streamed all the new content we got this week. I live streamed the Queen trial, the Sheraton trial, the Garuda Tower, the Garuda hard mode, etc. But now we're going to be going back and doing proper YouTube guides for each of that content. So we're going to start off with Sheraton. I'm sorry, with the evil Queen Byalcua. So for this one, I have cleaned it up a little bit while I was live streaming. We had deaths during the clear. We're going to fix that. But we're going to be doing an only Brave Exvius party for one of the missions. If you go to the Quest tab and swipe to the right to the Sheraton missions, one of them is to do this clear with only Brave Exvius units. During my live stream, we used Ace. This time, we're going to use Rain. Now, with Rain, honestly, it's going to be a little bit harder to do, mostly because it's a worse leader skill. But we're still going to get it done in a relatively quick time frame. Now, I do have to tell you, this is a relatively high-end clear. We need very strong damage, very high EX levels, etc. I do plan to go to back for this for a cheaper run. But this one's going to be kind of like a speed clear. So we're going to get all the turn count missions, as well as Brave Exvius only. But again, it does require very good damage dealers. So we're going to be pushing the threshold on turn 1. So Sylvie in the shift form is going to do Insect Killer on Richt, Demon Killer on Richt, and we're going to do I've Got Your Back on Richt for a big turn 1 buff. Melissa is going to do Chronic for the morale fill. I'm sorry, for the LB fill. We're going to do Human Killer on Richt, and we're going to do Minutes of Might for the stats and all. Abigail is going to do Infarega. We're going to bar Farage. We need that mitigation for the threshold. And then we're going to do SP Drone Type F to imperil the boss to fire. Now, Rick's going to shift at LB, Rain's going to shift at LB, and Friend Rick is going to shift at LB. Now, we need Rick to be clicked first in this action so that Rain does get the defense break. So make sure when you're clicking on this turn, one of the Ricks are the first people clicked. And this should push the threshold. If you're not pushing the threshold, wait for a little bit of a cheaper run for me where it doesn't require such high-end damage dealers. But for this strategy, we're pushing the threshold on turn 1 and going straight into phase 2 and just bypassing all the the phase 1 headaches with like dispels, etc. Now there's still going to be a lot of dispels going on, including right here, we got completely dispelled. Also, Melissa is our provoker, and she did eat some of the threshold attacks, but with mitigation, we're fine. So, we got completely dispelled. So what we're going to do, we're now going to swap to Lightning. We're going to do Defense for the Mirage. We're going to do the Lightning Magnus with Sylvie. And we're going to do Bolt Egg to imperil the boss to Lightning. Melissa, not yet actually. Abigail is now going to do both of her breaks, anti-physical and magical. And we're going to do Cover for the stat buff mostly. Melissa is now going to do Human Killer. No, we're not. I lied to you. We're going to do Bar Darkja. By the way, I will have a turn chart in the comments for you. So Bar Darkja and Curega. This clear is very specifically timed out, turn by turn, action by action, and we're following a turn chart I created exactly. So we're getting dispelled yet again this turn. So we're not going to set up the Ricks. We're just going to do Absolute and double bolting on all the damage dealers, Rain included. So Absolute, double bolting, and Absolute, double bolting. Now we are going to chain up and do a little bit of damage, but this turn honestly is primarily a setup turn. Because we're getting fully dispelled yet again. So many dispels on this fight. So some more attacks on our provoker Melissa, no big deal. A little bit of hits on Rick, no big deal. And then some counterattacks from Abigail. Okay, so we did get dispelled. The next dispel is going to be on turn 4. So we're good for a few turns now. So we're going to be doing with Sylvie, we're going to do Insect Killer on Richt, Demon Killer on Richt, and we're going to do the Lightning Magnus again. That's so that it keeps ramping up, and we have 2 turns in a row of 100% amplified going forward. Melissa on this turn will shared immunity. We're going to Parasol for the mitigation, and we're going to Human Killer on Richt again. Remember, we got dispelled. Abigail is going to do Cover. Then we're going to do Shelga for the mitigation, and Contingency for the Mirage. Okay, and now we start doing LBs again. Shifted LBs of Rain and Richt. So we'll go ahead and change these up. Little bit of damage. So the boss does have an unremovable defense and spirit buff in this phase, which makes him or her bulkier. It's even worse in phase 3, but, you know, we're going to deal with it. Okay, so some attacks right here. No big deal. We are using Abigail, who is an amazing tank. She's also going to counter for us and give us some LB fill. Also, our Provoker has been berserked. So Melissa is now berserked for a few turns. Unfortunately, she will not be helping out for the next few rounds. That's okay, though. So we're going to use Abigail to triple bar for Rager right here. Now, depending on your luck on crystal drops, etc., if someone is not good to go, you're going to have to use Sylvie to clever strike them. But we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and just LB Sylvie for more buffing, and then shift and keep up the damage. So LB yet again. So now we have a 100% Thunder Amplify. And there we go, we're almost to the next phase. Next phase is at 20%. Some more attacks this turn. And then once again, we have 100% Thunder Amplify yet again from Sylvie because we staggered the Magnuses. Isn't Sylvie amazing? Yes, she is. Anyway, so Melissa is still berserk this turn. That's okay though. So Sylvie will just triple Clever to fill LB gauge so that we can burst yet again. Technically, we probably don't even need a burst. We could just just chain. But we're going to LB anyway. So this turn, we're going to push the threshold yet again. Now, the threshold is a lot of single target physical damage. It really hurts. We don't want any deaths. We're going to have that mission. So we're going to use Abigail to Omni Cover this turn. So we're going to Omni Cover for the threshold, Protectica for the physical mitigation, and we're going to Bar Faraja just to fill LB gauge, but not yet. You could do it first if you needed to fill LB gauge. We don't need to, so whatever. And now here we go. So yet another threshold, another Dispel, and a bunch of single target physicals on our Provoker, Omni covered by Abigail, which means the damage is irrelevant. It does hurt pretty badly if you're not using Omni cover. Anyway, now we're in phase 3 with a really, really big defense and spirit buff. That's okay. We've got a plan for it. So again, we are going to get dispelled yet again on this turn. So again, we're just going to be doing setup. Sylvie is going to do... Now we're going to swap to the Earth element because, you know, more charges of the Magnus. So we're going to Earth Amplify. We're going to Gravel Stone for the Earth in Peril. And then we're going to do Clever just to fill LB gauge. Honestly, it doesn't much matter what you do there. Melissa, we're getting dispelled again, but we do still need some mitigations and protections. So we're going to Shared Immunity. We're going to Shelga and Protectka for this turn. The Ricks, again, are just going to do we're going to do Absolute and then double bolting. And the reason we're doing Absolute and double bolting is so that we can get all these breaks on the boss. And then Rain is now unfortunately stuck in the base form. So we're going to do... let's see here. Absolute and double bolting. There we go. And then Abigail is going to cover. And we're going to refresh all the good breaks on her. Hers are slightly higher than Rick's on-demand breaks. Okay. So again, a little bit of attacks. We're not really buffed up right now, so don't worry about that. No killers, etc. The real damage is coming in a moment. Okay, here's some attacks. We're going to get dispelled yet again. Some very painful damage that turn. Make sure your Rain is bulky enough in the base form. My Rain in the original build was very squishy and dying on that turn. So I gave him some bulk materia in the base form, which fixed the problem. So there you go. Okay, so now we got dispelled. The next dispel is on the 4th turn of the phase, which for us is going to be turn 9. So we're going to fully rebuff again. So we're going to use Demon Killer on Rick, Insect Killer on Rick, and we're going to do Offense this turn for the stat buff. Melissa is going to again do Shared. We're going to do Human Killer on Rick, and we're going to do Bar Darkja just to give some mitigations and LB fill, etc. Abigail on this turn will cover. We're going to Shelga for the mitigations, and we're going to Bar Faraja. There it is. And then Rick's are going to LB. Rain's going to LB as well, but his is going to be... we're going to click Rain a little bit first. because his base form LB is pretty slow. So we can weave it in a little bit, get a little bit of bonus damage. There we go. Not too bad. We don't have the 100 amplify quite yet. So here's some attacks. Again, not too painful. We're using Abigail, who is best tank ever. Some really painful physical damage. Unfortunately, we don't have good physical mitigation in this clear. We're not using Runda, so it does hurt. Make sure your party is bulky enough. So this turn, we now have the 100% Earth Amplify. But we're going to need it again later in the phase. So we're going to have Sylvie refresh the Amplify so it starts rolling again, so it's ready again soon. We're now going to do defense to stop all that freaking physical damage. We're going to Mirage some of it. And then we're going to do Clever to refill LB gauge. Melissa on this turn. Let's actually wait and double check. Yeah, we're going to be good. Okay, so we're going to use the SLB of Abigail to give us some good mitigation finally. Melissa is now going to do Human Killer on Richt. Let's see. We're going to do it on the other Richt because mine got it last time. We're going to do Seconds of Support on the Friend. And we're going to do Bar Darkja to fill LB gauge for the party and mitigate. Okay, so again, LB again. We're going to click Rain first. Wait just a second, then click the Ricks. And again, a little bit chunk of damage. There we go, very nice. And some more attacks this turn. I think this turn the damage is not super terrible. It's mostly on the Provoker, as you saw right there. But with SLB from Abigail, it was fine. Okay, so Berserked again. Berserk on Melissa. Super irritating. Not much you can do about it. She's Berserk this turn. Now, we do need to fill the LB gauge of the party. So we're going to just triple Clever on Sylvie. And we're getting Dispelled again this turn. Keep that in mind. So now we can either triple Barforagia. We don't need triple Bar. We'll just do double Barforagia and a Curega just to top off the party. Because they are taking some damage, as you can see here. And here we go. We're going to LB yet again. So Rain goes a little bit first. Then we chain our Ricks and just keep that damage rolling. And we're going to hopefully kill next turn. Next turn, we're going to have a 100% Amplify. So some attacks right here. We Mirage it thanks to Sylvie and completely Dispelled. But Sylvie is going to auto-cast the Earth Imbue and the Earth Amplify this turn. Marion's Blessing 3. We love Sylvie for this fight. We really do. Okay, but we do need the killers again, though. So we're going to do Insect Killer on Richt, Demon Killer on Richt, and we're going to do Clever to start filling some LB gauge. Abigail can just triple Barforagia to fill LB gauge. We're going to be killing this turn, so we're not really worried about setting up buffs and all that. Melissa is going to do Minutes of Might, Human Killer on Richt, and Bar Darkja, just in case our LB gauge wasn't good to go. But it is. And Rain, by the way, is back in the base form, back in the shift form, ready to go. So we shift him and get his shifted LB for even more damage. And that should be the end of Wicked Queen Byalcua. Okay, so it wasn't a big overkill, but it was 10 turns. We did get all missions that time, and it was a Brave Exvius only party. I do believe, after trying both of them out, that Ace is a better leader here than Rain, because Ace gives you a bigger leader skill, and Ace allows you to go pretty much full light element, which is a little bit better because the boss is weak to light. But this worked out. So we did light damage. You know, I don't think we ever did light damage. We could have on one turn, like one of the Dispel turns, for example, we could have just imbued light on turn 6 of the encounter. It would have been fine. I forgot to, whatever. We didn't use items, we got no KOs. So I'll show you the gear. So Sylvie is just bulk, a lot of bulk, definitely some physical bulk as well. Evasion doesn't really matter, just bulky. Melissa is our Provoker. Now we want Melissa provoking because Berserk will mess up your auto casting, and we don't want Sylvie's Amplifies to be messed up with Berserk. So, oh, and by the way, the whole party is death immune, by the way. So Melissa is physical bulk, as much as you can fit, and some bulk. 63,000 HP. We are using a good defense card, death immunity, passive provoke. You don't need evasion, and there you go. Abigail is just full bulk. She's very bulky, so no matter what your gear is, it's fine. Definitely give her a Blizzard Orb for both death immunity as well as passive counter build. I'm sorry. Don't provoke her. Don't provoke her. And then there we go. I did give her evasion. I don't think it matters with her, completely honest here. And there it is. And the whole party, by the way, is status immune, because we need status immune from gear as well as buffs. Rick, death immunity, LB damage versus demons, humans, and insects. He gears pretty easy for this. Rain, in the base form, this is the shift form actually. The base form, we gave him light armor mastery for more bulk. That's all we needed to fix it up. And then other than that, the gear is the same in both forms. So there it is. LB damage versus the 3 races. And then Friend Rick, I think this is Zodiac, built perfectly. There we go, nice bulk. And there it is. There was our clear. And that's going to give us the turn count mission. And I'll show you the special missions in just a second. So 12 turns or less is the speed clear you need to do for all the turn count missions. I'll show you them in a second. We did a Brave XVS only clear. We also got all of the regular missions, and we did focus all the single target killers on the Friend, because the Friend was going last in the chain order, so I gave it all to him. So he looks really, really high. That's because he got literally every single target buff in the entire fight. And you see the top of the screen right there? Brave XVS units only. Let's go ahead and pop over and look at those special missions. Now, the game may lag for a second when I do this. It's going to do this every now and then. So we might have a 30-second break as we... oh yeah, whatever. All right, let's go to the home screen. And we'll see if I can sneak into the quest menu before it starts lagging on the home screen. All right, we'll see the rest of those missions. Quest. Nope, there it goes, it froze. Okay, so we'll be back in 30 seconds. Anyway, so that's going to be that clear. I will be doing other clears on this fight. You know, this is a new trial. We're going to be doing it lots of times. So if you can't pull that clear off, I will have more budget runs. It's never going to be like extreme super budget, but we'll definitely have other... Oh, geez, hold on. We'll definitely have other stuff. Okay, so here we go. So up here we swipe to the right, and we get to the Sheraton trials. Here it is. So we did a Brave XVS only party clear. Boom. Another one is to clear with Sheraton in your party. Another one is to clear with Season 4 units only. That one I cannot do yet. I don't think I can. Maybe I can. I'll try it. Another one is to clear the EX stage of the old Sheraton. And then the turn counts. As you can see here, 25, 18, and 12 turns. We did those earlier during the live stream. We also did it just now with the 10 turn clear. And those gives you shards for your Sheraton to EX level upgrade her. Anyway, more fights in a few. Turn charts in the comments. Hope it helps. See you in a bit.